Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the Tangle Terra from CZT Shinmi Sato. I hope I pronounced that right. Okay, this one is starts with a dot grid, but you want to make sure to leave a little room. I'm going to start this in further than I think. And let's see if I can hopefully maintain it. Oh, so far so good. I have a lot more room at the end than I needed. Well, extra room to play. We'll just call it that. And actually, you know what? I can extend it out. Uh, I'll extend it out afterwards because well, I did leave a nice margin here and here. Oh my goodness. Okay. So once you have your dot grid, then, and we're going to start in, you know, the second row down. So the second and third row down. And what we're going to do is C shapes. So a nice curve line, and I would dare say come in about, close to halfway if you can. You do want to leave a little bit of a gap. And you can, if you do your dot grid with the same size pen for this one that you're going to draw with, then you can kind of run over that. And then there's some things like this where you can fix that up a little bit later. Okay, so we're doing C shapes back to back, right? Alternating as you go, because your grid might be bigger, and that part doesn't matter, but just know you're alternating. Then, so we're going to go up, up a row, and we're just going to do everything is opposite. So we were going, this would be to the right, this one's going to the left, and then continuing to alternate as you go. Okay, and I'm going to turn my tile just so it's a little easier. Same thing. So again, depending on what you do with your grid, as long as you alternate things, you're good. Okay. Now, some of you might be thinking, gosh, this looks a little bit like if I put a curve line here and one here, sort of kind of like Huggins, with, with less of the dot part. Okay. Then, well, and like Huggins, or I should say, opposite of Huggins. In Huggins, we would not cross lines. That was one of the things I remember hearing is like, oh yeah, that totally helps remember which direction to go once you have this part done. But this one, opposite. Yes, and I'm going to start here in the center where I did before. From that dot, we're crossing, and so we're going where where they're back to back, where those C shapes are. Okay, I'm just going to turn it because I want to use the natural curve of my hand, like that. And so as you can see, having the C shapes, I don't know how would I describe that? It'd be not shallow. Then you end up with these nice seed type shapes in there. Okay, so that helps. Now, it you might think it gets tricky after doing this, but as long as you're thinking, okay, looking at finding the ones that are back to back, and then doing the same thing. We're putting a nice C shape, on one side, and then a C shape on the other side. It is a little nice to leave a gap in there, but if you don't, then you don't. And okay, so I've done the complete back-to-back C shapes, but we want to remember these guys on the outside. So there's a couple ways you can think of this. If I was doing this and continuing it on, you know what? And I think I think I shall. Why not? Because I've done this several times, and I was just not being happy with the way it was looking. Well, actually, let me stop here. I can always extend it out further. So in Shinmi's step out, this is you'll see what just looks like a seed shape, and this is what she's done. So instead of continuing this line out, she just stops there. And then so remembering, okay, that's one half. Whoops. And let's get the other. And this is kind of neat way to think about it, especially or to do it, especially if you didn't want to have, little trailing pieces going out and like underneath, either over the edge, like I like to do a lot of times, or underneath something else. It's completely up to you. This can make it more self-contained. We'll say it that way. But you just have to remember, okay, I'm looking at this C shape. Okay, here is this C shape here. Oh, I see. So it's going to look like that, and just remembering the whole process, and that will help you with those little partials. Oh, and let me get this last one. Now, I did say it's like I've got a lot of room down here, so I could. Let's just put because why not, right? And where's that dot going to be? The dot is going to be right there. Okay, and so this one went this way, so this one's going to go, let me do it the other way. This way, opposite way. And as long as you can get one, then just alternating, right? All right. And then, I can do these back-to-backs right here. Like so. And it's just interesting looking. And now in Shinmi's step out, her step 6, now I continued mine off the page because I just had trouble doing what she did on that last step. Well, you know what? Okay, let me just try it here. I kind of like having these loose ends, but if you want to do it, let's I'm going to try it again because I kept trying it. I was being not happy with it because it's really. Let's see. Wait a minute. Okay, this way. Oh, this is maybe where my problem was. So get your grounding in that first step. Okay, so here's this C. Here's where the other C is going to be. And here's where the other one's going to be. And not worrying about making them look like round or anything. And then, because I would have one that's going back to here, right? So here's that partial. Let's do this one while we're at it. And then we can turn. Here's this partial. Like that. It makes it interesting where it's like it's on a stand. And what neat meta shapes this has created. And I'm going to leave them like that. As I was playing with it, I was doing weird things like this. Don't like it at all. This is going to become a mini transcend, I do believe. I might play with it a little bit, but yeah, just like, no. Oh, and here's what I did. I auraed the interiors, and then I was going to do like, rounding on the edge to kind of do like a flowery type shape. And it just wasn't turning out. And then I auraed the outside, and I put cheesecloth in here, and just not, sometimes you just don't like it. And sometimes when that happens, put it aside, let it sit, and then come back later and just go, okay, I'll try to mess with you again, and we'll see. All right, but here's where I'm thinking might be neat. Let's take advantage of or utilize this neat interior shape that's created. I should have started in the center, but oh well. We'll do all of these. Because you could, now depending on how big you do this, you could, of course, shade those little seed shapes. But they're a little too small. Mine are. And this, well, let's see what it looks like so far. And this, you just, bring it into the center. Heck, if you really wanted to, you could fill in the center if you wanted to. Ooh, interesting. I'm going to blend it a little bit better, I think. But take a look at the... Yes, I like that. Okay, let's see what the rest... When we do the rest of it, it's going to look really neat. And do take a look at the For More Inspiration link. Because you'll see some additional ways to do this. Or different ways to decorate it, I should say. The one sample that she has, she kind of ends it with this, on the ends. And I think that I like the way that looks. To me, it made me think, ooh, that looks like latticey, or like fancy lattice or something. It's it's non-representational lattice. That's what it is. But I could totally see this, in a flowery tangle work that, that would be really fun to do. So that's why I picked up, like, oh, that looks so neat. And you could have like some nice viney, organic, tangles kind of weaving in and out with this. That's where my mind went. And I'm like, ooh, very, very neat. And then the one below that, it actually scrolled down past what looks like the end of the step out, because there's an additional sample in there. Oh, I didn't put graphite there, but I've got enough on my tortillon to continue it on without skipping a beat. Look at that. Every once in a while, you got to do that. So in the second tile, she, and that's where I got the idea of this. I just didn't, it wasn't well thought out. But you know what? It was playing. And so it was fun. There's no such thing as a waste of time or a waste of anything. I'm just going to come back to it later and think on it for a bit. But yeah, so she did some fill-ins and just gorgeous. So do take a look. Oh, and see, look at how neat that is. And I like to make sure to stagger, feather, so I don't have that straight line. Oh, in the center. And if I was thinking, I could have done something different in the center, but yeah, lots of fun to be had with this one. How neat. And then if you did the outside too, it really makes those little shapes stand out. So really, really neat. And then too, you could fill some in. Actually, I mean, to have some contrast. Oh, let's just do these little rectangular-ish shapes. I hope you don't mind my free-flowing ideas here. Oh, and see in here, wait, let's get to this one. I forgot here's an opportunity to course correct. So it doesn't look so narrow. I've kind of, yeah. I kind of brought that out just a little bit further than it was, and you really don't notice. Oh, and we got to get these two bottom ones. But neat tangle. Neat, neat. I like it. Although we've kind of figured out this trick. This isn't an using the other end of the tortillon. You can kind of smooth and take up some of the graphite if you want. Or actually, this is just blending it in. There we go. Oh, look at that. I still have gradient, so that's nice. It just kind of gave the whole inside a bit more of a gray because I wasn't. At first I was kind of liking that look, but then I decided I didn't like it. So that's why we continue to play. How fun! Well, I hope that you have enjoyed this. If you did, and even if it just hurts your brain a little bit, I hope that you enjoyed that. And if you did, would love to have you click the like button. And if you liked it, I should say, if you liked me enough to see more of me, because I do a different tangle every day, and I try not to judge any tangle ahead of time. And sometimes it's like, okay, we're gonna just take a challenge and just see what we can make out of this. And I think that is just fun to do. So I hope you enjoy it as well. But please subscribe to the channel. In the description section, I mentioned you'll find links to the step outs, as well as ways to connect with me. You'll have a link to my website, Facebook page, and if you want to hang out with a bunch of amazing tanglers, Tangle Addicts we call ourselves, we'd love to have you join us. So we have a private Facebook group, and it's a lot of fun. Join us. There are 3 membership questions to gain entry, just so you're aware. But again, we'd love to have you. And I think that's it, except for if you're interested in classes, I do teach twice weekly. And actually, the twice weekly to 2 different days, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I do 2 sessions on those days. So that started out as incorporating for people that might work, and then I've just continued it. So, and it's so much fun. Join us sometime. A lot of them are free. Thursdays are free. I do have one Tuesday. Actually, this Tuesday coming up, if you're watching this at the time of this recording, we have Tough Tangle Tuesday. I probably could have saved this for Tough Tangle Tuesday. I'm sure that there's gonna be some comments about that, but I have even better things planned for this week. So join us sometime. We'd love to have you. And with that, thanks again so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.